5 o'clock. Welcome this evening, everyone, to the Town of Fairfield Planning Board meeting for Monday, April 6th, 2026. I will note that we do have a quorum of members here. We have Carrie Ann Heckel, Carol Ann Bagnulo, myself, Max Kenny, and then we have Shane Wrightseat joining us tonight as a new member of the board. Since we've last met, the Town Council has appointed Shane to a full member of the Planning Board. And then we have Mark Williamson and Sean Dumont, who are our two alternates. Both are not with us this evening. And then Chairman Kevin Violet is traveling and not able to join. So noting members, I will give Shane an opportunity to introduce yourself to the members of the board and to the public. Maybe just say what you do for work, where, or how long you've been in Fairfield, and what made you want to join the planning board.
I've been in Fairfield approximately 5 years. I've been in construction since I was 14. I'm 54 now. And right now I do water treatment, so testing and water treatment in commercial and residential entities, and I do radon testing and mitigation. I've been in the town for about 5 years now.
Well, we are happy to have you join us.
Thank you.
Moving on to item 2 on our agenda is the review and approval of the January 5th, 2026 Planning Board meeting minutes. Those are provided in our packets. Did everybody have a chance to review? I will accept a motion.
So moved.
Second. Go ahead.
Motion to approve.
Approved.
Excellent. All in favor? Thank you. Next on our agenda is item number 3, public hearing. We have a conditional use permit application for a home business for Curtis Ayotte to add a boat sales lot in the driveway of 213 Skowhegan Road on Assessor's Map 3, Lot 10 in the Commercial Land Use District. Is the applicant or a representative of the applicant here? You want to step up to the podium, introduce yourself, and then give an overview of what you're planning to do?
Hi, my name's Curtis Ayotte. I'm going to sell boats. All types of boats. I got a grumman out there that's a 17-foot grumman. It's an outboard. I got a duo tri-hull that I'd love to sell. I'm asking $3,800 for it. Local boats, guys, so that guys can get out on the lake and do some fishing, relax.
Will these... Do we have anybody from the public who would wish to speak at the public hearing on this conditional use application? All right. And Chad, anybody on Zoom?
There's no one.
All right. Thank you. We'll get back to you a little bit later on in the agenda. All right. Moving on to item number 4, unfinished business. We had none from the last meeting. So we will move to new business, item number 5. First on the list is the conditional use permit application for a home business for Curtis Ayotte to add a boat sales lot at the driveway of 213 Skowhegan Road, Assessor's Map 3, Lot 10 in the Commercial Land Use District. Discussion and decision. Curtis, I'll welcome you back up. All right, we received details regarding this application in our packet. Any comments from board members?
I don't have any.
He's already received approval from fire with regard to this. He's already received approval from DOT with regard to this, and it meets all the statutory requirements as outlined. So,
yeah, agreed. We do have some email correspondence that Nicole included in our packet that indicates that the proposed home business will include about 4 to 5 expected visitors a day, so we're not really expecting a significant traffic increase on 201 associated with this.
I've been joking that I'd love to see that more higher than that, but I'm being realistic.
We did receive a letter from the Fairfield Benton Emergency Services Fire Chief indicating that there was no concerns associated with the proposed home business. We received a sort of a sketch of the property that indicates the layout of the existing, because it is a residential property, and then, or currently used as a residential property, and then sort of a layout of where inventory and business parking would take place adjacent to the residential property. And then it looks like you had applied for a entrance permit waiver from the Department of Transportation that was granted to you for the proposed use of the property. I didn't really have anything to say about it. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. It's what we're looking for on 201, I think, in that commercial use corridor of the town. So I think it fits right in with the comprehensive plan and whatnot.
I agree.
Carol Ann, anything from your end?
No problem.
Okay. Are we ready to move on to findings of fact?
I think so.
All right. That's what we do next, Nicole, right? Is findings of fact and vote at the end?
Yep.
Okay. All right, so for the conditional use findings of fact, the boat sales business, a home boat sales business at 213 Skowhegan Road in Fairfield, tax map 3, lot 10, commercial land use district. Condition a site plan to scale showing at a minimum the location of existing and proposed structures and distances from lot lines, water bodies, water supply, and sewage disposal facilities. The finding submitted to the planning board with the application showing existing conditions. Condition an HHE 200 if a subsurface wastewater disposal treatment will be used. This was a finding not applicable, no changes to the existing use of the residential property. Condition, if the market value of the project will exceed $80,000, a copy of the plan and specifications for its construction shall be required. Finding, it's just the existing driveway, no additional constructions anticipated on the site. Condition, existing topographic contours not applicable due to, or finding not applicable due to no construction. Condition, the proposed grading at contour intervals not greater than 5 feet as shown. Finding not applicable due to no construction on the site. Condition site improvements, finding no improvements planned to no exterior changes to the site. Condition pedestrian vehicle travel ways and parking areas, finding the travel ways as shown on the site plan, existing entrance and parking area and exit as shown, no changes to what's existing for the property, and the DOT waiver has been issued. Condition landscaping and buffer areas, finding as currently existing, no changes proposed. Condition stormwater and erosion control structures, finding no exterior construction, so no changes. Condition private existing water, private existing sewer, no power lines, and outside installation of any machinery or materials. Finding not applicable, the owner occupied house is the only item on the property that will use utilities, and no employees. Condition an estimate of the vehicle trips to be generated by the development and any modifications to public roads which may be necessary to absorb the traffic. Finding approximately 4 to 5 vehicle trips per day. Condition an estimate of the value of public improvements, if any, associated with the development. Finding not applicable, no improvements will be completed at the site. Condition a list of names and addresses of all landowners within 200 feet of the proposed boundaries, or the property boundaries, excuse me. Finding, submitted with the application, letters to abutters were mailed on March 27th, 2026, notifying of tonight's public hearing on this application at 61 Water Street. A legal notice was placed in the Morning Sentinel on Sunday, March 29th, 2026. Condition, if the vehicle trips estimated as more than 50 vehicles per hour at its peak hours of usage, an analysis of traffic impacts and need for traffic control devices or improvements must be prepared by a qualified registered professional engineer. Finding not applicable given the expected traffic volume. Condition, a statement from Public Works Director that any proposed improvements to public roads are adequate and acceptable. Finding not applicable, no improvements to the public roadways. Condition an analysis of potential environmental impacts, including effects on surface and groundwater bodies, air quality, and wildlife resources. If any potential negative impacts are identified, a management strategy consistent with the performance standards of the ordinance and state and federal regulations must be prepared by a qualified professional. Finding not applicable. If the development utilizes public water or sewer services, an estimate of the demand on the respective systems, together with statements from the general manager of the Kennebec Water District and superintendent of the Kennebec Sanitary Treatment District concerning the ability for their respective systems to accommodate development, not applicable, no changes. Condition an erosion control plan prepared by a registered professional engineer. Finding no proposed construction on the site, so not applicable. Condition a stormwater management plan prepared by a registered professional engineer. Finding existing impervious surfaces will not see any changes in stormwater at this site, so finding not applicable. Condition a statement regarding the use, storage, and disposal of any dangerous, toxic, special, or hazardous waste, whether solid, liquid, gaseous, or special measures available to deal with them in appropriate fashion. Finding waste to be properly contained and removed from the site on a regular basis. Condition the development will not create unsafe or unhealthful conditions within the neighborhood or which it is located, and shall not create and exacerbate effects upon neighboring properties. Finding the proposed home business of boat sales at 213 Skowhegan Road will occur outside of the already existing building and is in compliance with the requirements of the commercial district. Condition the development will not create or add to traffic congestion at or below level D of service as defined, and will not create unsafe traffic movement on public roads. Finding, as described in the application, the proposed boat sales business will result in 4 to 5 additional trips of traffic per day to the surrounding area. Maine DOT waiver has been issued and recorded at the registry. Condition the development will not result in undue reduction of air or water quality or wildlife habitat and will not cause undue flooding or soil erosion. Finding the proposed boat sales home business will not result in a reduction of air or water quality or wildlife habitat and will not cause undue flooding or soil erosion. The structure already exists and the business activity will occur in the existing driveway. Condition the development will, to the greatest extent feasible, preserve historic, prehistoric, or archaeological resources. Finding there are no known identified historic, prehistoric, or archaeological resources on the site. Condition the development will not cause any undue strain on public facilities or services, including public roads, water supply, sewage disposal, solid waste systems, police, educational, or other services. Finding the business will not cause an undue strain on public facilities or services and will not utilize water or sewer systems. Condition the applicant has sufficient financial and technical capacity to complete the development. Finding the applicant owns the property and no construction is planned for the business. Condition the development is consistent with the Fairfield Comprehensive Plan and is in compliance with state and federal law, as well as all ordinances, rules, regulations of the town, including performance standards of the land use ordinance, unless this board acts to waive the said standards. Finding the home business is consistent with the Fairfield Comprehensive Plan and is in a designated growth area in a commercial zone. That's it. Conditions of approval. Do we have any as the board? I don't either. Will there be a sign? No sign? Okay.
Nothing on the road.
Okay.
Maybe an open flag.
Okay.
Eventually.
The town does have a sign ordinance as well, so just be aware of that if a sign is in the future. All right, hearing no conditions, I would accept a motion.
So moved.
To accept?
To accept.
I'll second that. We accept as is.
Excellent. All right, all in favor? Unanimous.
Congrats. I could let you know tomorrow. Give me till midday or end of day. I should have it ready for you. Okay? Thank you.
All right, moving on to item 5B under new business. Looks like Joshua Stanley, owner of the 1987 Paul Mushrow Bigelow Hill Road subdivision, requests a subdivision revision to have the subdivision covenants removed from this previously approved subdivision plan. The subdivision is on tax map 15, lot 50-1 through 50-7 in the rural land use district. Josh, thank you for coming. Do you want to give us an overview of what you are looking for?
Right now, it only allows stick-built homes, and I wanted to be able to put on some modulars and get rid of all the deed covenants that were on there for the subdivision. Pretty much it.
Modular's not mobile.
Well, either way, because right now it's only stick-built.
And I will note that this is an existing 7-lot subdivision in the town that will remain 7 lots.
Yep.
No changes to boundaries
Nope.
proposed.
Nope, just the, the buildings that I can put on it.
Comments from the board? Nicole, the notice of this hearing, well, I guess this isn't a hearing, but this was mailed to abutters.
It was not mailed to abutters because it's a revision that's not creating a new lot. So he's not looking to add to the subdivision. He's just asking to remove the covenants from the plan. The only other change I saw, he's changing the road name, and the original Mushrow plan says private road, which we've talked about, and that road, the word private was removed from this revision.
Well, it originally said Kelly Court.
Kelly Court private in parentheses. I think I included the old plan for
You
you
did.
to
Yep.
review.
Yep.
So if you look at the parentheses after the word court, so that's the only thing, and we talked about it, and I believe you said you're keeping it private,
Yep.
correct? So that was the only thing, other than he's gonna select his own road name. And the deeded covenants are coming off. That's my understanding.
Josh, a few questions for you. It looks like there are 8 covenants that were included on the original subdivision.
Yep.
I understand that they are restrictive. And I would have more concern about these covenants coming off if there was existing homes, if any of these lots had been previously sold to other people who bought into this subdivision at the time when those covenants were in place.
Yep.
But you own all 7 lots,
Yes.
correct? Okay.
None of them are developed at all.
Yep. Covenant number 8 says the underground water line to the Palmerlow and Taylor lots will not be disturbed or crossed over by the driveway for lot number 5. And with the new plan, it shows that the old rock-lined well and spring is to be covered.
Yep.
Is nobody,
Nobody's even using that anymore,
Okay.
and it's my understanding it's already been covered.
okay.
So, I mean, they'll serve the house across the road, and they have a drilled well now, so nobody even uses it anyways.
Okay, because it did look like there was some legal ability based upon,
Yeah.
and I didn't research those.
Yeah, there's some
Deeds.
water rights, I guess, that went with that, so it's,
Okay.
I'm gonna make sure it's covered, but it's still gonna be there.
Okay, I would just, that was one thing that
Yep.
stood out to me as, if we get rid of that covenant, will that water line
But
still be
that
protected?
one's actually in the actual deed for the property,
Okay,
not just in the subdivision one, so it'll still be on the deed for that lot.
and then there was a condition, so I understand that you want the covenants to be removed, but it also looks like there was a condition that was placed on this subdivision by the planning board back when it was initially approved in 1987, that a 30-foot wide buffer strip will be maintained along the north and west boundaries of this subdivision. That looks like it's also been removed.
Yeah.
Is that something that you are looking to remove intentionally?
It wasn't, but the lot's already been logged before I purchased it. So the buffer zone is pretty much gone already.
Yeah.
They logged right up to the property lines, so I don't plan on developing anything in there anyways, but the trees are already gone.
Nicole, what is the setbacks in this
It's rural,
district?
so
Do you remember off the top of
30
your head?
feet from sideline and 30 feet from rear, 40 feet from road frontage
Okay.
for the principal structure. They can place a detached garage or shed, I believe within 20 feet in that zone.
Because that condition is one thing that could have been important to neighboring property owners back when this first came to the planning board.
Yep.
That still may be relevant as opposed to some of the covenants that were put on the subdivision that would protect other property owners. And right now you own all of those properties. So I personally don't have a lot of hesitation to remove the covenants, but I do have some hesitation with removing the condition of a 30-foot buffer zone around the
Okay.
property, just given that that was a condition that was placed by the prior planning board and not something that was placed by the original developer.
No, I understand, but like I said, the trees and stuff are already gone, so it's,
Agreed, it would just
Yeah.
prevent you from putting like a garage any closer
Yeah.
than 30 feet to from the
Yep.
property line.
and that's fine.
How does the rest of the board feel on that?
My only question is, again, just going back to that old water line, so we're not looking at proposing any driveways or any entrances going over that, should it ever?
No.
Although unlikely, be available for them to use?
No, I can still avoid that water line. I can have the driveway come in off the private road, and it won't go near that.
Okay.
And as Nicole had noted, it does no longer say private drive on the plan. That is something that I think should be noted,
Okay.
whether it's a condition, we can make it a condition with the subdivision that the roadway shall not become a public road.
Yep.
If that's better for you as opposed to getting a revised plan.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Anything else from planning board members? Any concerns, suggested conditions? Shannon, anything from you?
I don't want to impugn his honor in any way. I just think that the Article 8 to protect the individuals across the road should be just somewhat adhered to as a condition and that, and I know that it's already not being used and has been covered, but just have it written out that there shouldn't be any disturbances running over it or what have you.
It does, so in this note at the bottom, it does show that the water rights are recorded in the registry of deeds. So I don't necessarily think they would go away, given if we removed that covenant number 8.
It's a deeded water line. His purchase doesn't change the deed of that because he
Correct.
didn't purchase that deed. But the condition is that it will not be disturbed or crossed over, and crossed over is the part that I'm talking about.
Sure.
Because it's already been disturbed.
Well, yeah,
What you
because it's
said,
already been
right?
logged.
Right, so all I'm saying is just for protection of the individual across the road, that we just have it to say that we're not going, the condition is that there will never be any
driveway
kind of
placed
driveway
over.
that would cross over this line, that's it. It's, other than that, that's, I'm
That's fine.
That's
I'm
fine.
totally
Yeah.
on board with this.
Yep.
So it sounds like we have 3 conditions that we're thinking of. That the underground water line will not be disturbed or crossed over by a driveway.
Well, crossed over, it's already been disturbed,
Okay.
so. Correct.
Yeah, before I bought it, it was like I said, it was logged and.
Right, they'd
and
already-
You're gonna have to cross over it to develop the lot anyways. It's just really just as long as you don't put a driveway over it.
Yeah,
It was the condition.
Right.
okay.
Okay. And then a third condition that the road will be private and not a public street. Or sorry, second condition, and then third condition that a 30-foot wide buffer strip will be maintained around the north and west boundaries of the subdivision.
Yep,
Does that all sound good
I'm good with that.
to planning board members?
You said north and west or around?
Yeah,
the
it's,
entire-
I
It's
don't
the
want to
two.
add anything different than
Right.
what was previously put in the condition.
Okay.
So on the subdivision, or on the, what year was it? 87 subdivision plan, underneath where the planning board members signed, there's a condition
Mm-hmm.
of a 30-foot buffer zone.
Okay,
I just want to respect that planning board they
okay.
had placed for a condition. And those all sound acceptable?
That's reasonable, yep.
Just for folks who are watching, I will read the protective covenants that were included on the original subdivision plan, just for reference. Article 1, the subdivision will be private, single-family residence. Commercial purposes will be limited to home occupations, which require no special facilities or buildings. Signs will be permitted only at the homes where a home profession exists, and in no case shall a sign be larger than 16 inches by 24 inches. Article 2, there shall be no installed or maintained trailers or mobile homes. Article 3, none of the shown lots shall be further subdivided, which, Nicole, if they were going to be further subdivided, they would come back to us
It
anyway.
has to come back
Yep.
to the planning board under state subdivision law.
Yep. Article 4, no residences to be constructed with less than 960 square feet of living area. The exterior of said dwelling to be finished within 18 months of beginning and have graded yard. Article 5, domestic animals may be kept provided that they are not bred, kept, or maintained for any commercial purposes. Article 6, the purpose of these protective covenants is to ensure the use of the property for compatible, attractive residential uses. The grantors, their successors, and assignees, and any person or entity now or hereinafter owning any of the lots in the Mushrow subdivision and land use plan shall have the right, but not the legal obligation, to enforce any of the conditions and restrictions herein contained, and I can't read that word.
Acquiesce.
What is it?
Acquiesce.
Acquiesce on their part or any other person having interest in any of said lots in said subdivision or plan not be deemed a waiver of any rights to enforce any of said conditions or restrictions. However, the grantors shall not be held responsible for the enforcement of these restrictions. Article 7, it is intended that all of the restrictions and conditions herein shall run with the land and shall be for the benefit of all lot owners and shall run for all grantees, their heirs, and assignees forever. And Article 8, which we are going to continue to make a condition, is the underground water line to the Palmerlow and Taylor lot will not be disturbed or crossed over by the driveway for Lot 5, which will strike disturbed and just have crossed over. Any additional comments before we move on to finding of facts for this application? Moving on. Condition the property. The owner of the property is Joshua Stanley. The applicant is Joshua Stanley, the owner, who has demonstrated a legal interest in the property by providing a copy of the warranty deed, which is recorded in the Somerset County Registry of Deeds, book 6,357, page 217, filed on November 24th, 2025. A copy of that was included in our packets. The location of the property is Bigelow Hill Road, Assessor's Map Lot 15, lots 50-1 through 50-7, contains 11.02 acres in Fairfield and 7 individual lots. The property is not located in the shoreland zone. The property is not in the flood hazard area. The applicant proposes to remove all subdivision covenants from this plan on the subject property. A completed plan application was submitted on March 18th, 2026. A public meeting was held this evening, April 6th, 2026. Water is to be supplied by private well water. Sewage is to be disposed of by private septic. Site evaluations for each lot meeting the requirements of the main plumbing rules will be completed, and a Form HHE 200 will be submitted for each lot when they are developed. Conclusions. Pollution. The proposed subdivision will not result in undue water or air pollution. In the making of this determination, the planning board considered the evaluation of the land above sea level and its relation to the floodplains evaluation. The property is not within the floodplain. The nature of the soils and subsoils and their ability to adequately support waste disposal. The property will be served by private septic systems. The development will not cause air pollution. The property is used for single-family residential use. Sufficient water supply. The proposed subdivision has sufficient water available for the reasonably foreseeable needs of the subdivision. Erosion. The proposed subdivision will not cause unreasonable soil erosion or any reduction in the land's capacity to hold water so that a dangerous or unhealthy condition results. It's noted that proper erosion controls will be used during all earth-moving activities monitored by the code enforcement officer for Fairfield. Traffic. The proposed subdivision will not cause unreasonable highway or public road congestion or unsafe conditions with respect to the use of the public roads existing and proposed. No lot changes. The subdivision traffic for residential home use entering and exiting public road will remain as it was designed and approved in 1987. Sewage disposal. The proposed subdivision will provide for adequate sewage and waste disposal and will not cause any unreasonable burden on municipal services if they are utilized. Private septic systems will be installed, and those systems will be designed by a certified main septic designer.
Yes.
Municipal solid waste disposal. The proposed subdivision will not cause an unreasonable burden on the municipality's ability to dispose of solid waste if municipal services are to be utilized. The subdivision will not cause an unreasonable burden on solid waste disposal. Aesthetic, culture, and natural values. The proposed subdivision will not have any undue adverse effect on scenic or natural beauty of the area. Aesthetics, historical sites, significant wildlife habitat identified by the Department of Inland Fisheries and Wildlife or the municipality, or rare and irreplaceable natural areas, or any public rights for physical or visual access to the shoreline. The subdivision will not have any undue adverse impact on the area. Conformity with local ordinances and plans. The proposed subdivision conforms to a duly adopted subdivision regulation or ordinance, comprehensive plan, development plan, or land use plan, if any. In making this determination, the planning board has interpreted these ordinances and plans, noted that the subdivision conforms to the adopted subdivision regulations and is consistent with the Fairfield comprehensive plan to add residential dwellings. Financial and technical capacity. The subdivider has adequate financial and technical capacity to meet the standards of this section. Noted that yes, the developer has financial and technical capacity to develop 7 residential homes and a private road. Surface waters. While situated entirely or partially within the watershed of any pond or lake within 250 feet of any wetland, great pond, or river as defined in Title 38, Chapter 3, Subchapter 1, Article 2-B, the proposed subdivision will not adversely affect the quality of that body of water, unreasonably affect the shoreline of that body of water, not applicable for this application. Groundwater. The proposed subdivision will not, alone or in conjunction with existing activities, adversely affect quality or quantity of groundwater. Noted it will not affect the quality or quantity of groundwater in the area. Flood areas. Based on the Federal Emergency Management Agency's flood boundary and floodway maps and flood insurance rate maps and information presented by the applicant, the subdivision is not in a flood-prone area. The standards of the town's minor subdivision ordinance have been met except for the following, which have been waived by the planning board. No waivers requested that I'm aware of, Nicole.
No, not at all.
And then the following standards of the town's subdivision ordinance have been met, which is not applicable. And conditions, we have 3. Nicole, did you get them all?
I'll read back what I believe you said. So condition 1 is the roadway shall not become a public road, it shall remain private.
Yep.
Condition 2, no driveway to cross over the existing water line.
On lot 5.
On lot
just no
5.
Lot 5.
Okay, and the last one, a 30-foot wide buffer, no building to be placed in the 30-foot wide setback. To the north and to the west?
Correct.
Okay.
And you could say that that's per the 1987 subdivision plan, just to reference back to that.
Okay, the original plan.
Yep.
Okay. And that's what I have.
Any other conditions or discussion points for board members? Hearing none, I would accept a motion.
All right. I move to approve the Paul Mushrow Bigelow Hill subdivision revision request to remove all planned covenants as requested with the conditions of that it will remain a private road, that the water line will not be crossed over by a driveway, and that the 30-foot wide buffer is maintained on the north and west boundaries.
We have a second?
Second.
Lynn, all in favor? Unanimous.
Okay.
Thank you for coming.
We do have a plan if you want to take recess and sign it so he can get it filed.
It does have, subject to the following conditions on the plan.
We can handwrite them, or you could have him have his professional put them on the plan.
How,
There is a space for us to write.
right, but if we sign it, how will the professional get those back?
When he files it with the registry, they would get a copy if Josh takes a copy. to
Right,
them.
but, so if we sign that copy over there, that goes back to the surveyor and the surveyor will put those conditions on?
No, it would just go to the registry with the handwritten conditions. Unless you want them typewritten, then Josh will have to go back to his surveyor and get them typed and bring the plan to the next meeting.
I would prefer them typed. I don't know what the rest of you all feel.
I was hoping to have it done today. Yeah, because his business is for sale. He's going to be closing soon. I don't know if he's going to be here too much longer.
And if you want to wait till the end of the meeting so we have time to write the conditions correctly, if that would.
I just think
work better.
having them on the plan is important for
Right.
future lot owners.
And there's a space to write them in there. They just wouldn't be typed.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
it would be, right? It would be.
It would be handwritten, but we'll have to take our time at the end of the meeting.
Right, I don't want to
do it.
rush
No, I
rush
agree.
through that writing.
Okay, so if he's willing to wait till the end of the meeting.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to item 6, items by the public. Do we have any members of the public either here in the room or on Zoom that wish to speak to the board?
My name is Jordan Kelly. I'm here to discuss a potential conditional use plan. I have no right title interest to this property, but it's 200 Ohio Hill Road. It's map 8, lot 11. I have a roughed out plan so you guys can check it out if I can approach.
Sure.
You kind of know where
I
it
do,
is. Yeah.
yes, thank you.
So, sorry, my printer ran out, so you might have to squeeze it.
That's okay. I also did kind of create one also off of my printer when you said you were going to bring a handout. So
Yeah, thank you.
if you want to give them each one of these.
Sure.
I'll keep on.
Very much appreciated. So this is a rectangular, largely rectangular property. It goes back to Fish Brook. I don't know the last time it was logged, but it has been a recreational disc golf course in the past. I believe it's under LLC Dr. Disc Golf, known as Skyriders. My plan roughly is to continue that as a disc golf course, as a low impact outdoor recreation space. The course already exists. We actually checked it out again today. The improvements that I would like to make, I want to know if it's possible to have a small event barn with some cabins that would be 4-season. I assume they would be on a heat pump. My plan would be to have some sort of bath or shower house for those cabins to use as a rental space. It is zoned rural residential, so I'm here today just to find out any major concerns. What homework do you want me to do here to see if this is a reasonable use for this area?
So by event barn, what size structure and what's your occupant load?
Yeah, this is very rough, but I'm assuming something, 60 by 100 feet, very, very much like a simple barn hall. As far as occupancy, I wouldn't say more than 100. So I know there's probably conditions that will hit certain parking lot sizes and things like that. But is the operation of a campground and event space here possible?
So campground, under the land use ordinance in the rural residential district, that is something that would be allowed with a permit. But I don't know about the event barn.
Is this like a wedding event?
Yeah, that's essentially the
Okay.
scope of what I'm talking about. Not a huge concert field or anything like that.
Because this is a pretty residential area with.
Right.
Yeah,
Is
so
this, does this abut Brown Lane?
Yes, between Nash Lane and Brown Lane. So you can see on the map that Nicole provided, there's residences down to 10-4 on the top, and I believe 14-2 on the bottom. The plan would also call for conserving probably the back, 30 acres or so that abuts Fish Brook. The disc golf course currently only goes about a little over maybe a quarter to a third on the front part of the property that goes along Ohio Lane, or Ohio Hill Road, sorry.
And on your map, you've shared with us what looks to me like a golf course layout. Is that disc golf?
That's the
course
disc
layout?
golf as it exists already there. So those lanes have been cleared. I'm not proposing any major clearing. Minor improvements to what exists.
So in the ordinance, it says a place of assembly would be allowed with conditional use permit. Again, it would have to follow the entire ordinance, parking. Not only that, but that escalates to state fire marshal.
Sure.
You'd have to get a permit from them first before you can apply to the local planning board. Because any place of assembly needs their, permission first before we can say yes to any project.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think it sounds like it wouldn't necessarily be not allowed per our ordinance, according to Nicole, but I think there are some hurdles to get through.
Certainly, yeah. I just wanted to understand, take the pulse of the board. Is this, something that is worth pursuing before I spend a large amount of time and energy and funds to make it happen?
Ohio Hill Road is a state-controlled road, so you'd have to go to DOT
Sure.
and get a change of use permit for that driveway. Right now, it's to a single-family home and a seasonal disc golf business. So for them to approve an event venue and campground sites, that would definitely need DOT approval
Sure.
for that entrance to change. And then I am concerned about the cabins and the bath shower house. If you're doing events in the winter, I mean, I go to campgrounds in the summer and some evenings it's cold to go outside
Sure.
and go use a central bathhouse. So I can't imagine in the winter trudging through a foot of snow
Right.
to use a restroom if those
Sure.
cabins don't
Sure.
supply individual facilities.
Would there be any major issue with not having that if it was just a standard cabin with a bath shower in there?
Well, then.
I just don't know if I get into like
Right.
AUD.
Well, you're into subdivision, because
Okay.
now you have more than 3 dwelling units in a 5-year period. So
Right.
whether they're considered tiny home under the state of Maine building code, still needs to meet the energy code,
Sure.
and it does trigger subdivision under state law.
Would that have to be full-time residency to trigger that though?
No, anytime 3 dwelling units are created on one piece of land in a 5-year period, even if it's an apartment building,
Is there a square footage threshold where that
No,
doesn't
because
apply?
tiny homes are allowed now in the state of Maine, and there
Right.
are tiny home subdivisions. So there isn't, it's not like if you stayed underneath that,
Okay.
you'd still trigger it with a cabin.
And I appreciate the education.
Yeah.
I'm just jumping into this right now, so.
Yeah.
My concern is the 7 existing residential properties that are going to be in very close proximity to all of the activity.
Yeah, this is a 74 acre property. I don't know how, if there would need to be like a decibel study or something like that, but I know the disc golf course has existed there for some time, and I would like to look in to see if there's been any issues with that in the past.
I don't think there were live bands or DJs playing there.
Sure.
I think it was very quiet. People
Yeah.
that go there are just quietly walking through nature and playing their game. So I don't think, I haven't.
And is the
aware.
existing, I mean, it looks to me like a trailer, is that proposed to stay?
I would like to upgrade that to possibly a 2-bedroom house there. I believe the trailer was put in like 74 or 75, so it's got a little bit of disrepair that, I would like to be able to put a home there.
And that would be like a full year-round?
Right, that would be
somebody-
my residence.
Oh, okay.
To look after the property, yeah. And there's an existing garage as well, so I'm not planning on moving that, but definitely putting in a home where the
And that's
trailer exists now.
that would be a different driveway entrance than there currently is to the site?
There's 2, yeah. The disc golf entrance is on the lower portion. If you're looking on this map, it's right above lot 12 here.
Yep.
It goes down through there.
My general take is I think we would get some pretty significant pushback from the neighbors
Okay,
on something like this.
all right.
But who knows? Maybe we wouldn't.
Alrighty, well, appreciate your time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments from board members? Thoughts?
Sounds like fun, but maybe talk to people that live around there and
Sure.
get a feeling before you jump too far.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Any items by the clerk of the planning board?
Yes, we've gotten our grant to help rewrite our ordinances to be consistent with all these changes under state law. So I did get an email from Jess that helped us do our land use ordinance revisions last time. And she said that Tuesdays, 4 to 4:30 work ideal for her. I don't know if that's way too early, or if maybe a 5 o'clock start time on Tuesdays, or if that day even works for anybody.
Is she only going to give us a half an hour?
No, she'll work,
Okay.
yeah, she'll.
So 4 to 4:30 start time.
Start time, she was
Got
just
it.
throwing that out there, like, but I work till 4:30, and I like to be at the office in case somebody needs a permit or questions,
Right.
or I have to do a late day inspection. So 4:30, I could probably be here for 4:35 or 5 o'clock.
I think it's
Like-
tough to do anything before 5.
I agree.
For
Right.
board members. I mean, I personally can, but I think in general, we don't typically start
Till
board
five.
meetings
Till
until
5.
at the earliest 5 o'clock.
Okay.
Right.
How about Tuesdays? Does that sound good for you guys to give her feedback that Tuesdays would be good?
Last time she worked with us on the days of planning board meetings, is that not an option moving
I
forward?
don't think it's an option because she's doing a lot of work with a lot of other towns that also need to do these updates. And this grant has a real small window as far as time where she can dedicate and get everybody's ordinances and all these surrounding communities done. So I think she's stacking up her schedule.
And you had emailed us about a training that KV Cog was going to be putting on. Has that been rescheduled, Nicole?
It has not been rescheduled yet. So that was on the updates to all the ordinances. So as soon as we hear from her, we'll know about it. That will be helpful for everyone.
Yeah. I'm just
know.
wondering if we should start the process before that training takes place.
We have to wait till the laws they're not settled law yet. So I think the end of April, or I think around the 20th, the state of Maine will close their session and we'll know what actually got adopted. I think some things are still being worked out. I do have a local planning board of appeals meeting coming, and planning board meeting Thursday, April 16th, so next week, 4 to 7:30. It would be in this room if anyone's interested. And they basically give an overview, Maine Municipal, on how to be a planning board member and just the laws. And so if anybody's interested, I could sign up our board and we'd all meet here. And then they just asked that I email them, whoever was present, so that you guys can all get credit for having participated, if you're interested. It's not mandatory.
When is it, Nicole?
It would be next Thursday, 4 to 7:30. It's
The 16th?
the 16th, 3.5-hour commitment, so, you know,
I
you're
would
welcome.
highly recommend that training if you guys have not sat through that before. I did for a prior town that I lived in, and it was really helpful. I can only be there, Nicole, until 5 because I do have a school board meeting that evening.
You said 4:30?
4 o'clock it starts in this room, and we would go till 7:30, so you're welcome to bring your dinner, your bag lunch, whatever you want, because we'll be here for a while. They do give little breaks throughout the training.
Please put my name on that.
Okay?
Yeah, I'm checking too to see if,
You can put mine too, Nicole, although I
Okay.
won't be able to be here the whole time.
Sure.
You can go ahead and add me, Nicole.
you can put
Okay.
me into pencil me in. I think I can be here. I just gotta check my work schedule, but it looks like I can be.
Okay, so, and I will certainly be here, so I'll reach out to the 2 alternates and see if they can participate with the training. All right, so I'll let Michelle know to sign us up on that. Thank you. And let's see if I have anything else. I think that was the last item that I had, just that our grant was awarded. We did get the $15,000 to pay for KV Cog, so now it's just a matter of finding out what the laws are at the end of April and moving ahead with those changes in May and June.
So it's May and June that Jessica wants to start with us.
Right, like, it has to be wrapped up, I think. There's a deadline on that.
So should we be
Yeah.
looking at dates and trying to schedule things with her now?
That's why she wanted me to ask you tonight. So she's
Okay.
I'm gonna give her the okay with the 5 o'clock start time on Tuesdays and see what she comes back with, and then I can give all of you the schedule.
Does Tuesdays generally work for the group that's here tonight?
Well, I'm gonna accommodate it, but, so, how many Tuesdays?
So it says the grant performance period is April 1 to July 31st. So we have a really small window
Right,
to
that is
meet. So
really
we may
small.
have to meet more than just on Tuesdays to get through all of these changes. And then
But not every Tuesday, I mean.
yeah, right. It may be every other Tuesday for a while. I really don't know. When we did the other, it was
Took us
like every other
months.
week. Yeah, it took us
Yeah.
months to get through that, but I really don't know.
So is she proposing like a May 5th start? I mean, we could schedule May 5th and see how that goes. Ask her to reserve Tuesdays from 5 to 7.
Okay,
And then if we start on Tuesday, May 5th
as our start date.
as our start date and we
Then-
see how that goes and we can schedule.
What's the closeout day? July what?
July 31st, we have to be complete.
So we have 12 weeks to complete this.
Yeah, and we might have even less than that because she actually has to, get it to us. It has to go to town council, get approved, and we have to submit it to the people that gave us
And
the
there's
money.
some pretty massive changes coming.
And they
I
are.
read through some of those synopses. Okay.
Right, okay. So, right, for us to be, and if we don't do it in the time allowed through the program, then the town has to give the money back. And then we pay, the taxpayers have to pay for that professional planning assistance.
Got no
So
incentive
it's
there.
to our benefit to do it in the time that they're giving us.
Yeah.
Okay?
I think May 5th seems like it will give the legislature a chance to adjourn, and then that can be the start, but I would ask her for,
Okay.
I guess, every Tuesday to reserve for Fairfield, and then
All right.
if we, as a group, have conflicts or decide to do every other, then Jessica will just be more free.
Right, and, you know, if a member can't make it, then the rest of us would definitely help
Absolutely.
carry the group
Yeah.
along and take your feedback and provide her all the feedback prior to getting together. So she can say, well, I heard from Shane and this is what he suggested for this area, or, you know.
I will note Tuesday, May 12th, the environmental committee has a meeting in this room already
Okay.
scheduled.
We have the other
Yeah.
room too, like we did last time. So if we're not in this room when you show up, the other meeting room is typically where we were doing our meetings
Okay.
before with her.
And are we talking 5 o'clock again?
I'm going to ask her for a 5 o'clock start time, because that
Okay,
seems to.
because we have, the 5th, we've got, Carrie,
Yes.
we have economic and development.
We do, but if this starts at 5, then
We got
we just
30
have to tell
minutes.
them that.
We'll give you a good incentive to get economic development and done in an hour and a half.
Right,
We
okay.
try.
Okay.
Okay.
And Nicole, will you email that once Jessica approves? Will you email that to all board members?
Yes. You got it.
All right, anything else, Nicole?
That was it for me, thank you.
All right, moving on to item 6C, items by members. Anything from members?
Not for me.
All right, I'll just reiterate, Shane, welcome to the group. Thank you for volunteering your time to serve the town. This is a really important board in the town, and I think we all have gotten a lot out of it in our time on the planning board, so we're just thankful that you decided to join us.
Thank you.
All right, with that, I would accept a motion to adjourn.
I move that we adjourn.
A1?
All right, all in favor? Great, thank you all.
Thank you.